Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Man, have you ever seen a meltdown like this? This is a epic meltdown. In the annals of NFL history, this one is special. It's very special. As a Buccaneers fan, it hurts, and it is ugly. Welcome into yet another edition of Bitch and Moan Monday. I am your pissed off host, JP Peterson, along with my good friend Nick Gaddis here from On3 Sports, joining you live from our Kingmaker studio here on another Monday where the Buccaneers just absolutely ruined your Sunday. And although it didn't ruin mine, I had a Lightning game to do, and that was fun. That was fun, and we'll talk some Lightning as well. But this absolutely sucked, but it was absolutely predictable. I predicted they would lose. In fact, I said a few weeks ago they're not going to win another game. I'm sticking by that. I don't see there's any way they beat Carolina this week, even though Carolina sucks. But I don't think there's a worse football team in the NFL right now than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Jets are close, but I think that Jets-Bucs game probably was what it should have been.
It was a close ball game.
Yeah, two of the shittiest teams in the NFL. Yeah. Good morning. How you doing, pal?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Doing great.
How was the drive in from the Fish Hawk?
It was actually great because nobody's on the road. Nobody's on the road listening to all the Bucs podcasts on the way in. What I had to say, digesting it all. You said something about the Bucs ruining your Sunday. Well, get ready because they're about to ruin your Saturday.
Right.
This week. That's where we cross the line when you're ruining my Saturdays.
Sorry, hold on 1 second. We have an audio issue. Thank you guys for. On the weekends, we have to restart everything, and sometimes they don't get rid.
Now you can hear us.
All right.
Now they can hear us. Sorry, guys.
You also mentioned, you said it hurts or whatever. I got to be honest. I'm past the point hurt. Now, I'm watching that game yesterday. I'm laughing at the TV. It's comedy hour.
I've been that way for a while.
I feel like I've gotten in a time machine. I went back to like 2014, and I used to watch those Bucs games, and I used to laugh at the TV at some point.
Yeah.
Even with my high school self was laughing at the TV. That's where I'm at right now. It's been a while since I've gotten to that point with Buccaneer football.
Yeah.
But I'm there. I have no interest in watching this team play another football game. And yet we have to. We have to.
Oh, it's I will say this, it's must-see TV. I mean, watching this train wreck is I can't put it down. I'm just like, wow, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? And there's so many points in the game yesterday where you're like, okay, they got this. They're going to come back. These Dolphin teams ready to quit. And that's the other thing you got to think about. This team has nothing to play for. And they have just absolutely shit the bed 2 weeks in a row. Last week, Cincinnati put 45 on.
Yeah.
The Bucs could barely score one touchdown. The last touchdown does not count, by the way. You get no credit for the yards, the points, or anything. You lost by 2 scores to the Dolphins.
Yep.
You suck. To the Dolphins,
who
don't even want to win.
They fired the general manager.
Skipped over their second-string quarterback to get to the third guy. Because to make sure we don't win. But unfortunately, he's better than the second-string guy, so I don't know why he's the second-string. They should be.
They benched their $60 million quarterback.
Yeah.
Their top receiver, Tyreek Hill, is not playing because he's hurt. Their other top receiver, Jalen Waddle, got hurt in the first quarter. Yeah. Didn't really play.
No factor.
What am I missing? Minka Fitzpatrick. He wasn't on the field yesterday.
No. This wasn't even the best of a shitty team.
No.
And you still freaking lost by 2 scores.
Yep. And you had everything to play for.
Everything to play for. Everything to play for. And you had you can't even blame injuries anymore.
Oh, we're long past
You can't even blame injuries
anymore.
It.
They're playing worse since they've cut everybody back.
Yeah, they're playing worse. If that's possible. Good thing we got Mike Evans back because Mike Evans, listen, his body language, could it be any worse? Could it possibly be any worse? His route running, not good. His combat catching, not good. He seems to have checked out as well, which is crazy. When I watch Levante David Loaf and Mike Evans have negative body language like he has out there, I see Antoine Winfield making stupid plays on 3rd and 12, a critical play in the second half, and you're chasing a bootleg another way and leaving your guy wide open.
We got don't forget,
just made the Pro Bowl.
Don't forget Jalen McMillan quitting after the first Baker interception, just not even tagging the runner.
How do you not reach down and touch the guy and give up 35 yards of field position?
Yeah. You can't make sense of it.
Well, you can. You can. And I'm here to tell you that it starts at the top.
Well, we all know that.
It starts at the top. And this is the most ill-prepared team in football, week in and week out. You don't allow, every week you hear this story. Well, this is the first time ever since Dan Marino that a rookie any Dolphin quarterback has thrown 2 touchdown passes. No, a rookie quarterback has thrown 2 touchdown passes in the first half. It's always some superlative.
That's a sad stat, by the way.
It's a first touchdown by who's that? Weiss?
Theo Weiss.
First touchdown for
Greg Dulcich's first touchdown since 2022.
Can't do shit against anybody else, but when you play the Buccaneers, bro, we're setting records.
Yep.
We're rewriting the record.
Bradley Chubb. Completely cooked as a player.
No, not yet.
Get you 2 sacks and a forced fumble to end the game.
Yeah, because I have an incentive-laden contract that I needed to reach.
Yeah.
And by the way, and when we're going to, go 7-step late in the game, make sure we put Ben Chikuma on an island against Bradley Chubb, who has a $1 million motivation to get a strip sack. Bingo. Come on down. You're the next contestant on Beat the Shit Out of the Bucs. It's just, it's comical. And once again, I read this morning from, I think it was Ian Rappaport, Todd Bowles is not on the hot seat. I heard my good friend Rondé Barber last week on his show, which is a must-watch, by the way. Nope. Todd is safe. And he's as close to the owners as anybody. So I'm not doubting the information whatsoever. I'm doubting the sanity behind it.
This was all before what we just watched.
I don't think it matters.
You.
Is that shocking?
It has to matter.
Really? Was that any worse than anything we've already seen?
I got to be honest.
What was different about yesterday than everything else we've seen?
You got a good point, but I don't know what it is. But yesterday felt like it was worse than all the other games.
How so?
It just felt way worse.
Like how do you differentiate between the feces on the window? It all looks like crap to me.
I felt like the general energy and the way they looked on the sideline looked different yesterday than it looked in the previous games.
Okay.
Yeah. I felt like we have multiple examples of guys loafing or just
everywhere.
Not giving a shit.
Everywhere.
Like the Buccaneers linebackers are just not good. But yesterday they looked like they just gave up.
5 is comical. I feel so violated by 5. I'm like I bought into.
He doesn't get his name, does he?
I know.
5.
I bought into all of it. He hook, line, and sinkered me just like he did Jason Light in that negotiation.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's awesome. Remember, I came on and told you, I love his interviews. This guy's gonna get 10 sacks. Get out of here. Get out of here. He is so playing not to get. Did you see where he went off the field yesterday?
Oh, I did.
The guy he has a pulling guard coming at him, and of course he doesn't try to fight through it or get around it. He just takes it. And I guess he got a shoulder. The guy put his helmet. Didn't even knock him over. But he runs off the field holding his shoulder. Now he came back in the game later on to completely whiff on a tackle that he had no want to make. And see, that's the thing is like when you see guys out there. There one particular screenplay. Jamel Dean comes up and one of those really hefty wide receivers that's blocking. And the guy comes up and blocks him, and he doesn't even block him hard. But it's not like Jamel's even trying to get off the block. They're just like playing footsie. No one's physical. No one's going through a receiver to just take down the screen, unless it's Parrish. He might come up and pop you. Even Tyke Smith, our best defensive player, is taking the most ridiculous angle on that deep touchdown. Like, where are you going?
And he got benched.
Where are you?
He got benched for Christian Izzian yesterday.
Who's a good player, by the way, who actually comes up and makes plays.
But it boggles my mind. It's week 17, and now we've decided to bench players for poor performance and making mistakes.
When did this start?
And it's like, did I not? And by the way, that's the best player you have on defense. One of the only guys who's had a pulse all year.
Yeah.
He makes one mistake or whatever, 2 mistakes, and he gets benched.
Yeah.
And I had to watch Zion McCollum get roasted every single play for like
Jamal
5
Dean
weeks.
can make 17 mistakes.
Yeah, I'm not like saying I disagree with the thought process there, but it's a little late in the game for doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a little late in the game.
But at least he did it.
Yeah, sure.
I guess there's something to say for that. Which brings us to my quarterback, Baker Mayfield.
Oh, Lord.
I've defended Baker because of the injuries, and I will continue to do so. He's not the same guy. He can't put the same zip on the ball. He's not as accurate as he has been. The ball to McMillan, he makes a great play to get out of the pocket. McMillan's open, and he underthrows him by a yard. And that's the first interception for Marshall, his first NFL interception.
Jason Marshall looked like an all-pro yesterday.
I know. They all did. I think the Dolphins had, 7 interceptions coming in, and they got 2 in this game. And the first one, okay, so he's open, make the throw. He didn't make the throw. And that, to me, I will put that on injuries earlier in the season. He's just cooked, and he has been for quite some time. Nathan Elliott says we should put Baker on IR.
He should have been
put on. I don't necessarily disagree with that. We talked about that back weeks and weeks ago. He needs a couple weeks off. If you want him right for the end of the season, you got to give him I don't know that it would have healed the shoulder or the knee or the oblique. Those are pretty significant injuries you don't really overcome in a couple of weeks. But to keep putting him out there like that, it's not doing the team any good. He can't throw the ball down the field. He's making mistakes. The second interception, which was critical, that was the one.
Jeez.
Listen, what's his name?
Ashton Davis.
Ashton Davis. I don't know if he did it on purpose, and I think he did, because, and this is the only thing Jonathan Vilma got right all day long. Good Lord, I cannot stand listening to this moron. And one more moment. The Todd Bowles defense, they know how to play zone. They know how to play man. They bring creative blitzes. It's tough for this Quinn Ewers going up against this Todd Bowles defense. Next graphic. The Tampa Bay defense has been 28th, 29th, and last in every category in the last 9 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry. What did your analyst just said? How great this defense is. Jesus.
Did you hear
any research? Do any research, Jonathan Vilma, before you show up.
Did you hear his analysis of the offense too? Early on in the game, he was like, I know the Bucs have all these receivers and everything, but you want to get everybody involved. But at this point in the season, that time's done. You got to start targeting Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, maybe sprinkle in Ibuka, and then the next pass goes to McMillan, who ends up being the leading receiver all day. It was Jalen McMillan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then later in the game, he's talking about the Bucs have too many weapons.
Too many weapons.
When has that ever been a bad thing?
You got to pare it down.
Yeah.
You got to pare it down.
Jeez.
Might want to just use the ones that are working. And by the way, Bucky Irving is not working.
No, he's not a weapon.
He's not a weapon, and he's not working. And they're at the point where the third down swing pass that he took and just meekly went out of bounds, a yard shy of the sticks. I'm like, wow.
These guys are scared of contact.
Yeah, they are. Definitely. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, he had what he finished with yesterday. 9 carries for 19 yards. He got 12 on 1, so he had 8 carries for 7 yards otherwise.
Donald Vesey says, I turned the volume off when the film was on. Just sync it up with your you can get your phone and get the app out and sync up. If you have a TV where you can go backwards and forwards, you can sync it up with Gene and
let's just go back to 2010
when
we had we couldn't watch the games, could only radio them.
Yeah, little hack there for you. Michael LaRue says this. Yeah, Ian Rappaport suggested that Bowles' job is safe. Are you kidding me? Why do the Glazers love this guy so much? Malcolm Glazer would not put up with this mediocrity. The kids are soft. Like I don't want to say the kids are soft, but they need to make a decision.
Well, to the Rappaport,
so I agree with
the Rappaport thing, I don't even know if that was a report. Like, I listened to it twice.
Yeah.
It almost sounded like he was like putting his own opinion on it, and he kind of mentioned like, well, he's won the division 3 years in a row, and he just got an extension. And then he was like, does that sound like a coach that's on the hot seat? That's kind of how I took that. So I don't know if that was really a report. And also, I don't really trust it because This is the same Ian Rappaport who a week earlier was telling me that Devin White was in comeback player of the year conversation.
Yeah.
And he gave up 115 yards in coverage, by the way, yesterday. Just pointing that out.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's almost.
But he had a lot of tackles.
Yeah, he had a lot of tackles.
Yeah.
So
and
he'll be the first one to tell you that matters.
Picked up a stat sheet. He's got a lot of
so
tackles. Must be a good player.
Yeah. So it sounds like his personal take and or a spin of Todd's agent. So I'm not really putting stock into it. And I don't care about the extension part either, because the Glazers have told you extensions don't matter to them.
Yeah, that's not part of it. But listen, there's a lot of blame to go around. And I asked the question on the tees, is it the players or the coach? First of all, when it's this bad, when in totality everything is so bad, your special teams absolutely suck. Once again, you give up a block field goal, which was critical. You lost by 3. You give up another. You only had one return. Right? And Devin Culp misses a tackle and they give up contain. I've never seen a group. By the way, Devin Culp. I know tight ends and everybody has to pitch in on special teams. Devin Culp. That's going to be the guy that's got your contain on. You don't have anybody else. That's the guy.
Well, John Bullock was healthy and active today. We were missing our ace.
Wait, we didn't get a chance to headbutt anybody after the whistle?
No.
Kill our field position in a critical moment? No. Wow. Shocking development. How that guy was,
But Bowles, by the way, said on that moment, that kickoff return specifically, he said that was meant to go into the back of the end zone, by the way. That was a mishit.
Yeah.
It was a mishit.
So the kick, we're going to capitulate and give you the 35. Because we cannot cover, and we're not going to fire our special teams coach because he's our buddy.
Yeah, that's where we're at. We're going to try to kick it in the back of the end zone and give you the 35.
Right. We can't even do that.
But if we hit it, we're going to give you the 45 on our side of the field. That's the 2 outcomes. It's week 17, by the way.
Again, special teams has sucked all year long. The Rams fired theirs last week, and we still have the same Jamoke. Nice guy, Thomas.
We got the same Jamokes all over the coaching staff.
Yeah, and nobody's leaving. Like if you first of all, like, let's not even pretend that. I mean, listen, maybe the Bucs come out next week and they finally get to we don't give a crap anymore. They might as well just sling it around the yard and see what happens. And they somehow make some connections and beat the Panthers and go into playoffs. This will be the worst team in the history of the NFL to go into the playoffs.
I'm almost
no question.
I'm almost
statistically.
Well, it's right next to the 2022 team.
Yeah,
it's a toss up.
Yeah, this would be like it'd be an embarrassment for the NFL.
I'm almost just as disappointed in the Carolina Panthers. Granted, they played the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
I get it,
yeah.
But I'm almost disappointed in them because I just wanted it to be over. I wanted someone to put the Bucs out of their misery yesterday.
No.
And just stomp us into the ground.
I got to have another week of this.
I don't. I'm over it. I'm over it.
No, listen, first of all, don't ever say that because you know what it's like when it's not football season. Dude, we have a whole week to make fun of this team. We have a whole week to make fun of Todd Bowles and preparation. This team looks like they never freaking practice.
Do you miss watching Florida State football every week?
Yeah, I kind of do.
You do?
I kind of
you do.
I kind of do.
Really?
By the way, we got a new GM.
Oh, that's cool.
Woo! Woo!
My point is, it's like, no, I'm
come on, John Garrett. You the man.
My point is when I see enough bad football to go around.
He built Duke into a superpower of the ACC, so he'll do the same with FSU.
Yeah, my point is when I see enough bad football to go around, like we have watched this year across college and pro with the teams that we root for, I've had enough.
No, I can't.
I've had enough.
No, I disagree. I can't get enough. I'm running it back and forth. Like, watch 5 on this play. Watch 5. Like he just gets out of his stance, puts his arms up, then he runs towards the ball carrier. Oh shit! I got to tackle him.
How fitting.
Let me just bounce off. I'm not even going to bring my arms. I'm just going to bounce off him because I might get hurt.
It's almost disrespectful that he's wearing that number because as fitting, I keep looking at that picture behind you right there. And there's a 5 looking at me right
Johnny
now.
Bench. That's a real
The
5.
great Johnny Bench.
I think Johnny Bench at 80 could probably pay better than the 5 on the setting the edge for us right now.
He might. He might.
The effort by the lack of effort by some of these players is astonishing.
Yeah, I even love, speaking of Reddick, there was someone on Twitter who put like a wanted poster out there for Hassan Reddick for stealing 14 million American dollars from the Glazers.
He's like a Minnesota Somali.
Yeah.
This guy's stealing money at a rate.
He said something about Larry Foote in there too, because Larry Foote is the one that coaches the edge room. And Warren Sapp commented, "Foot teaching what? What does he know about it?"
You're going to miss this. You're going to miss it. I haven't even got to see the All 22 yet. I can't wait for that comedy show.
Lord.
That's like stand up. That's like stand up. It's so good. Yeah. So I was talking about Baker and that particular play on that, like the safety, when he flips his hips to go back towards the middle, that's the clue to go to the skinny post. Like that's something that quarterbacks are. That's when you're reading that play. He starts down in the box and then moves to look like cover 3 in the middle of the field. And when he flips his hips to go to the middle of the field, now you go for the quarterback. Okay, now the skinny post is going to be open. And as soon as he flipped, it was like he baited him. Vilma got that right. He baited him into that interception. I'm not saying that's not bad on Baker. I'm just saying that happens to the best quarterbacks.
But even if Davis doesn't make that tremendous play, because that's a really good individual play by Davis. It really is, to shift your hips in that moment and get back around.
It's just to set him up. But that's again, that's great film study on his part.
It is. But
that's what good coaching does.
My point is, even if he doesn't do that and you're just throwing it one-on-one to Ibuka, he's not open. It's not open. The corner's running right in front of Ibuka.
He may have a half a step, but he's not. And listen, the Bucs are on a roll. And you see this a little bit from Baker. They're going no huddle. He just makes an unbelievable play. That's the one where he gets Bell comes scot-free from the backside, jumps on his back, but somehow Baker shakes him off.
Yeah,
a 260-pound guy on your back, and he shakes him off, rolls out, hits Evans for a big first down. So then they go quick. Back to this, and he thinks he's got a shot play. And these are the plays that Baker was making early in the season that were, Ibuka standing in the end zone. It's a whole different game, and the Bucs are back in it. And for the want of, a great play by the defender and about, another 2 yards on that ball over the top to Ibuka and to the outside, maybe that's a play. But again, a lot of these things come back to Baker's either inaccuracy. I'm not going to say it's a bad decision because you're coached that way. When a safety flips his hips, you go to the skinny post. If he's open and he had, inside position, that's a play that it's a 50-50 ball. You're trying to make plays down the field. You got to take shots at some point. But that was a great play by the safety. He baited him and he got him. It happens every week in the NFL. Good film study. And tip of the cap. But Baker was short on that other one. Every time he throws a pick, the Bucs lose. Now, it would be nice if there were other parts of the team that helped him out. It would be nice if you had a run game, and just didn't keep giving it to Bucky, who keeps making bad decisions and cutting back into and you've got an offensive line that is just really not good and can't push the pile.
But I don't even think the offensive line was bad yesterday in pass pro. I mean, run. You can talk about run all you want, but in pass pro yesterday,
they were okay.
Like Chukwuma got beat twice by Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Man, he's making his second career start. He's a rookie. He shouldn't even be playing. Yeah. Right. I thought largely Chukwuma held up okay.
Yeah.
I thought largely the entire line held up okay. But it just doesn't It doesn't matter right now with Baker. It doesn't matter if he has clean protection. It doesn't matter if he has guys running open. The inaccuracy right now in him. There was another one earlier in the game where he scrambled out of the pocket and he's got Chris Godwin sitting right in the middle of the field wide open and he just short arms it and he misses him by like 4 feet. He just, and that's a big play. That's a first down and that keeps a drive going and who knows what happens from there.
Yeah.
But he's just so short. I know you're throwing on the run, but it's a 10-yard pass. Yeah. You got to complete that, man.
Yep. All day long.
He just can't do it, and he can't find Mike. He's overthrowing Mike like crazy yesterday.
Mike makes a great catch, but he's out of bounds. You throw the ball out of bounds in the end zone. You got to give him a chance. Baker is just not playing his best. On that second interception, TJC 22 says, that bang 8 was the read. The type of throw is determined by the safety gaining depth, right read, better defense. Absolutely. And some of the concepts down in the red zone, I'm looking at these routes that we're running on 3rd and goal from the 8. Nobody's open. No. They're not running picks. They're not running, they're playing zone and they're not running a good zone beater play. So what is the call? And guys are really running half-ass routes. I do, some guys are just not running. It's like they're like, oh God, here we go again with this stupid play. It's just all so this is what happens, folks. And when you have a lack of leadership within the team on the field, which I think is evident, when you have a lack of leadership at the top, whatever they're doing to prepare every week, they're not prepared. It's, walk through practices, whatever they're doing, they're not prepared well. It all shows on game day. And certainly you really get exposed against better teams. Look at who they're losing to. Look at who they're losing to.
Look at the quarterbacks that they've lost to over the
Unbelievable.
last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Like they lost to Tyler Shuck. Now, granted, Tyler Shuck's playing some great football right now for the New Orleans Saints. I'll acknowledge that. But you lost to the old man Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
You let him dice you up. You lose to Bryce Young, who's just meh. He's just meh.
Yeah.
And now you lose to Quinn Ewers. Like these guys, they're all outplaying Baker Mayfield, right? It doesn't matter who it is.
Not only lose to him, like they're having career days.
Everybody
against the Buccaneers defense.
Yeah.
So,
and to your point about like the not having leadership on the offense and just being everything just looking so lackadaisical, no urgency, no answers. Bucky Irving's got some stones on him. That video of him jawing at Tristan Wirfs on the sideline. Man, get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it for Bucky Irving right now. Bucky Irving is playing trash football.
Yeah.
Right now. He looks like he's gotten I don't know what happened to this guy coming into the season, even before the injury. It's not like he had a great 3 games where he got hurt.
No.
He wasn't explosive. I mean, what is he giving you right now?
Not much.
And then Grizzard continues to just ride him like he's a bell cow and we have to get him the ball when Rachaad White is clearly outplaying him. Rachaad White got 4 touches yesterday.
Yeah. Not enough. Not even close. And every one of them were productive.
Every one of them he's had the last 3 weeks has been productive when he's gotten the ball. Sean Tucker's been way more productive when he's gotten the football, but we're still trying to make Bucky Irving a thing this year. Yeah. He don't have it.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And so it comes down to this week. And by the way, the game has been moved to Saturday at 4:25 for the world to see. So now you got a short week, which might be better because the less Todd Bowles teaches, I think the better off we might be. What are they going to do in practice anyway? More crappy walkthroughs, great week of practice. Now we're going to go out and make nothing but mental mistakes everywhere. And the team is it's not prepared. Your game plans aren't fooling anybody. Everybody else can score 45 points on this Dolphin defense, but you can't. And it's a depleted Dolphin defense. They're holding guys back because they don't want to win anyway. And you still, they're sitting there going, yeah, damn it, you screwed up our draft position. You guys really suck. Like, how did we actually win that game? They don't even want to win. Tactically, from a physical standpoint, and you still can't beat this team, and you have everything to play for. Yeah, so is it Bowles or it's the players? It starts with Bowles. These guys clearly are not convicted as to what this guy is doing. And that makes that's why you see a lot of guys playing hesitant, bad body language, but it's also on the players.
It's everybody.
Yeah.
It's everybody. And I've seen Gerald McCoy has been running, all over Twitter and going at Bucs fans for saying, "Oh, you just want Bowles out. You just want the scapegoat." And you're right, Gerald. It is everybody.
Yeah.
But it starts with the head coach.
Absolutely.
It's the head coach's job to get everybody ready to play.
Yeah.
And these guys don't look ready to play. They don't look prepared, and they don't look like they're fighting for their head coach right now, do they?
No.
Because he's called them out multiple times in the media and said, "We've done all we can do. It's on y'all." And what has the response been? It's getting worse. It's not getting better. So, yeah, Todd Bowles needs to go, and there's a lot of players on this team who need to go. I could sit here 4 or 5 weeks ago and say, well, the Bucs got to make some changes in the offseason, but it doesn't need to be anything radical. Like they need to retool, whatever. I think completely different a month later than I did a month earlier about the way this team looks long-term. There's a lot that's got to be done here. Yeah. It's not just a retool as far as I'm concerned. It starts with the coaching staff, but there are a lot of players on this team who have to look themselves in the mirror, like Todd Bowles said, and a lot of other players who need to just flat out get out.
How could you possibly bring this coaching staff back?
I'm waiting for someone to give me an argument for
the Bucs are very crafty in that if you have a season ticket, you have to renew it before the annual midseason slide. They've been smart about that. So, but how many season ticket holders do you think would renew right now? And by the way, if you're a season ticket holder, let me know about this because I believe your renewals go in like week 5 or 6 or something before the annual midseason slide. And then, and I think a lot of teams do this, so it's not something that the Bucs are, doing that's improper or anyway. But it's, it's smart, especially when you feel like you're not,
You can't sell it to the fan base.
You cannot.
You just cannot. Sell it
or your sponsors.
You can't sell it to anybody.
Like if you're, a big name sponsor and you're paying, $6 to $8 million a year for this crap. Like, how do you're like, well, what are you doing with the coaching staff? Like, am I going to renew my deal? Hell no.
Yeah. And I hear people say all the time, well, you know what? It could always get worse. Well, you know what?
This is the worst.
I'm watching it right.
Losing 7 of 8 to these teams.
Yeah, I know what it looks like right now. I'm willing to take that chance. And if the Glazers' thinking is, well, we don't want to go back to the decade of darkness that they had.
What have you done?
That's not good enough for me.
Honestly,
not good enough for me.
Honestly, what has Todd Bowles done? He is a 500 coach here with a roster that's way better than that. If we're looking at this in totality, he is a 500 coach who's 1-3 in the playoffs with a historically shitty division. Historically, never been a division this bad. And what have you done? You've won it, but your record within the division isn't even that great. As the team, what did we say last week? It was 30 teams are 37-37 in the last 3 years against each other within the division. All these shitty teams are 37. You're just 37-30. You're not even dominating your division. Last year, you won a division and lost twice to the Falcons and Kirk Cousins. Okay? The division outside the division is what? Playing 350, 400 football? Like they are so sub 500 against the rest of the NFL. And it's not, and so you're just the best team in a really, really shitty division. And you're afraid that if you fire your head coach, that pundits are going to, how do you fire a coach that's won 3 division titles?
I think this year has been
context.
This year has been the greatest evidence for why you do make that move and you do take a swing, because look at what the Bears are doing. Look at what the Patriots are doing. Look at what the Jaguars are doing.
Coaching matters to the who?
Yeah, it does.
The Jaguars?
The Jaguars.
Who's their coach?
Liam Cohen.
First coach to go from 4 wins to 12 wins in his first year?
Yeah. Oh. Got Trevor Lawrence playing at, the highest level.
Well, I sure wish
seen.
I could go back to last year, man, and it kept him. And
that's to me, that's the argument. Like, yeah, sure, you'll have the Aaron Glenns mixed in there, but I mean, come on, it's the New York Jets. Who cares? They're their own situation.
Yeah.
Everybody else that, for the most part, they took a big swing and fired their guy. The Patriots they saw 1 year of Gerard Mayo, and they said, nope, we're not doing that.
1 year.
1 year of Gerard Mayo. They said, nope, not doing that. We're going to get Mike.
And guess what? The Patriots did get criticized for firing him after 1 year. That's right. And you know what? Nobody cares anymore.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. So if you're worried about that, Buccaneers owners, first of all, you should not be worried about that because you've hired more black coaches than anybody in football. Your record on this is exemplary in every way. So if that's the reason you want to hold on because you're afraid of criticism, I would say, be bold. Be bold and do the thing that needs to be done. We all love Todd. He is a fantastic human being. Universally, we all love the dude. And we have rooted for him probably more than we should, frankly.
I would think in general, we want to see good people succeed.
Oh, God, yes. God, yes.
We want to see good people succeed. But at some point, we have to acknowledge that we are in we're in the wins and losses business.
It's not about the person.
It's not about the person. We're in the wins and losses business. And right now, this team is doing nothing but losing.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the story.
They don't look prepared. And it's the same mistakes over and over and over again, especially on the defensive side, which is his baby.
Yeah, as a
defensive coordinator, you would have been fired last year. And after this year, oh my God, you're the worst.
And
you're the worst defense in football right now.
It's not even just Bowles. It's the coaches he has surrounded himself with that are so less than. Like Larry Foote. Why is Larry Foote still here? His position group has done nothing for the large part that he's been on this staff. The George Edwards of the world, the Nick Rapones of the world. Like these guys, is it McGahee? Thomas McGahee, the special teams. These guys are not good coaches.
They're not.
And if they were free agents tomorrow on the coaching market, you let me know where they're going. You let me know. I bet they'll be the same. I'll bet it'll be a Byron Leftwich situation for many of them.
Yeah. If you want to go into a decade of darkness, keep this group around because it's not getting it done. It's not getting it done. You got to be better. All right, let's get into a couple of the comments and we'll take our first break. Bucs Basement, of course. Well, first of all, let me go to Tampa TY. I haven't seen you in here. Welcome, my friend. Went to the game yesterday, and it was more glaring to me than you can see on TV. His accuracy stinks in Baker. Yeah, it's just not there. You know, we lauded him early on because he was playing great. And I was telling you, he's making throws that are just ungodly. And it just hasn't continued. Why? Well, when you have an oblique injury and a shoulder injury and a knee injury on your plant foot, I think it's just plant foot. I think he's got actually knee injury on both now. You're not going to be as accurate. And it's that simple. But you have to, as a team, coach around the injuries and figure it out.
I don't want to hear it because I'm sorry. The injury excuses just don't fly for me anymore.
No,
because there's too many other teams around this league that are beat up. Did you watch the San Francisco 49ers yesterday?
Unbelievable.
Did you watch them put up 40 points with a skeleton crew on offense? Mm-hmm. Have you watched that they're playing for the number 1 seed in the conference next week?
That's right. Who did they lose? They've been without their quarterback for most of the year.
They've been without their quarterback.
Their best defensive player.
Pearsall, Jennings. Ayuk hasn't even played a snap. Kittle's only played 9 games this year. Didn't play. Their defense, they're without Boza. They're without Warner.
Yeah.
They're 12-4. Why? Because
they're really well coached.
They're really well coached.
And they coach their depth. Yep. Bucs Basement says Mornings Bowles definitely knows he's gone because that Ian Rappaport report saying he's safe was complete BS, and that was before they proceeded to lose another game. The players are playing like they want him gone. I would agree with that. They're definitely. He continues, Bowles' scheme is washed. Any opposing quarterback can deal with it, especially backups and rookies. Now add Ewers to the growing list. Thanks for making me money, Bowles. Now get the F out of here. Yep, that was one of the easier bets of the day. Chris Cole says 20 points should be enough to get for any offense to beat. You know, that's somewhat true, but when you allow long drives and key plays at key moments like this Buccaneers defense did, and let's be honest, you know, every team plays the Buccaneers, and once you get a lead, you know it's going to be easy to hold on to just because of the way the Bucs play and how bad their offense has been. So they're not good on either side of the ball. I mean, just to say, is it the offense or the defense? It's yes. That's the answer to that question. Yes. Is it the offense, the defense, or the special teams? Yes. 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 All of them. Yes. Aviation 1436. This is who Baker is. Oh, what about the last 2 years and the first half of the season? So that wasn't Baker. So this is Baker. When Baker goes bad, this is Baker. But the 2.5 years leading up to that, was that Baker? I see a lot of this. And I'm like, when I look at the list of things that are wrong with this franchise, Baker Mayfield is way down the list because I know that when he's healthy, he can get this done. It doesn't have to be completely healthy either. I've seen him play and he can win. He can win games. He's a great leader. I love Bake. Now, is he playing well? No. He's not. He's playing like crap.
I would argue if he could play better, they would at least have won half the games that they've lost. They've choked away. That comes down to it. Like, you got no defense you can rely on. I maybe said this 3 weeks ago. The only thing that could save the Bucs team, and I hate to put it all on the quarterback because we tend to do that too much, but sometimes you just need your quarterback to put on his cape and be that guy that can will your team to a victory. That's all you could ask for from this team at this moment was for Baker Mayfield to find it in him. We know it's in him. We know he's capable of doing it. And you got all your guys out there. There's no more excuses anymore about injuries and blah, blah, blah. You got to find a way to play better and you got to find a way to make plays. And he's failed to do it.
Yeah.
Whatever the reason is, he has failed to do it. He wears a lot of this.
Yeah, he should. He should.
Like, to be honest, when you give up 23 points to the Panthers and you give up 20 points to the Dolphins, given what you have on offense, that should be enough for you to score more and win. It should.
Yeah, but that's kind of taking the defense off the hook.
I understand that,
but giving up been terrible.
But giving up 43 points in back-to-back games for this Bucs defense and the shape they're in, you take that.
Yeah. But I think if the Dolphins had to score more points, they could have.
Maybe.
They didn't need to. When you have a 2-score lead, you don't need to press it, especially when you have a rookie quarterback. I look at what they did in the first half and say if it was a tight game, that's what they would replicate if they needed to score. They were averaging 11 yards per play in the first half. After the first drive, 11 yards per play. The Dolphins, Quinn Ewers, 11 yards per play. And swing pass to Achane, 17. Swing pass to Achane, 13. Tight end bootleg, 12. I mean, it's just easy peasy, easy pickings. You don't see that when they play other teams. You just don't.
No, and like I said, I think there was a stat since week 10 on third down, they are allowing 11 yards of play on third down. 11
say
yards
that again.
of play. Since week 10, they are allowing 11 yards of play on third down.
So it's the defense.
And even yesterday, when Quinn Ewers is backed up in his own end zone and they run boot and we're selling out for boot.
3rd and 12.
On 3rd and 12.
Backside tight end.
Good. I mean, good. I mean, that it's just.
Instead of, okay, so that's my man, right? That's my man, the tight end. 89.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the first pass he's caught.
Julian Hill,
the great Julian Hill.
Who are you?
Like, if I'm Winfield, that's my guy. I'm thinking to myself, 3rd and 12, what are they running here? They're probably going to do something backside to the tight end because that works all the time. Yeah. So that's my guy. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bait this rookie quarterback into a big mistake. So instead of flowing with that's my man. That's what I'm thinking because that's my man. I got to cover him. That's my job. It's not your job to chase the toss sweep the other way. That's not your job. Your job is the backside tight end. So bait him into, okay, they're going to try to do naked and throw to the backside tight end. Be there. Make a freaking play. You're a Pro Bowler.
Highest paid safety?
Yeah, you're a Pro Bowler. I'm sorry, Jonathan Vilma called him the eraser this year. He's the eraser. What the hell does he erase this year?
I mean, they started off the broadcast talking about impact players for both sides, and they started with Levante David. That's when you know the broadcast is off the rails because Levante David is not a good player anymore.
No, he's not. Like, what did you dust off the 2021 notes? I don't do any research. I'm just gonna. I've done Bucs games this year. I'm not gonna have to do any updated research. That's for sure. That guy is a freaking clown. Woo. Josh B7815 says, anybody else notice that Bucky looks like he's avoiding contact? He doesn't hit the hole and continues to make the wrong cut. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's seeing out there. He's missing holes all day.
Big time.
Like they're
Big
there.
time.
They're there.
There was a couple times last week where we're pulling Wirfs and he's cutting back. Like get on that dude's big ass hip.
And that's what I'm saying. You got some nerve to go after to start jawing with Tristan Wirfs on the sideline. You got some nerve.
Yeah. Mike A says when a camera showed Baker on the sidelines, he could barely keep his eyes open, looked totally drained in every way. Yeah, he's just beat up.
They're done.
Yeah.
They are they know they're cooked. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they could do.
Yeah. Nathan Elliott says, have I ever seen a meltdown like this? Yes, I've been a Buccaneer fan my whole life, and I've seen this before. I don't think we've ever Raheem lost 10 in a row to end the season.
Right.
They went to Europe and never came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, and listen, I was young for the 08 season. I can't imagine that was as bad as what we're watching right now. The way 08 ended.
This is the worst I've ever seen. I'm covering this team for a long time. I've seen a lot of bad football. There was a game in Atlanta. It was a lovey game, I think it was, where they were totally, I think they lost like 55-14.
Maybe, yeah, that was the Atlanta game on Thursday night. Maybe I'm overvaluing the roster. Maybe I am. But
we're going to talk about that in the next segment.
But I feel like given the context of that and who's on this roster and expectations, that's why I feel like this is as bad as it's been. Under no circumstance should this team be losing 8 of 10 football games.
No way. What is it? 8 of 9 or
8 of 9?
7 of 8.
Whatever.
7 of 8.
I can't even keep track anymore.
It was probably 8 of 9 too. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side and get to your comments. So fill it up. We'll get to those in a second here. We're brought to you by the great folks at the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES, lawgroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. So if you've been involved in an accident, make sure you give them a call. They will make you a top priority, unlike some of these bigger firms. They're small enough to make you a huge priority, but big enough to take on the big firms and the big insurance companies. JeevesLawGroup.com. Not attorney spokesman, offices Tampa. And a few days left to take advantage of the great deals at Genesis of Tampa. They're still giving away the $500 shopping spree each and every day if you go by and visit them. And if you do a test drive or get your vehicle appraised, they will 10x your entries for the shopping spree. And if you buy a car, the no payments for 90 days, and then they'll make your first payment for you. So no payments for 120 days at Genesis of Tampa. Go over and see them on Bears Avenue there and tell them JP sent you. Back in 3 with your pithy and brilliant co-hosts. Stay with us. Holidays are the best time to get engaged because all the family's already together. And at the Golden Diamond Source, they have thousands of diamonds to choose from in their jewelry wonderland. Looking for a gift that says forever? Find stunning engagement rings, diamond earrings, diamond bracelets, the most stylish gold fashion jewelry. And there's plenty for men in their new men's section and watch department. There's something for everyone on your list. And don't settle for anything less than perfection. At the Golden Diamond Source, they make it easy to give a gift they'll never forget. They wrap it up nice for you. You don't have to do any of that, guys. And they have a great staff there. You may not know what to get your lovely wife or girlfriend, but they do. Let them do the work. Hey, finance your purchase for 0% interest for up to 5 years. You could get a $5,000 diamond for only $84 a month. Don't go to the mall. Go to a local company and keep it local this Christmas at the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Some love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite. I love it. So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Bitch and Moan Monday. I'm going to give you guys all the bitch and moaning time here in just a second. I want to remind you that the Golden Diamond Source after Christmas sale is always the best. Julie gets to mark down everything. They put Steve in the closet and mark down everything across the board. So if you're looking to take advantage of some of those great gift cards that you got and you want something shiny and beautiful, go on over to the Golden Diamond Source and take advantage of their huge after Christmas sale. It's always fun over there, and you can pick out whatever you want. Hope you guys had a great Christmas. I had a great Christmas. You have a good Christmas, Nick?
Yeah.
No? Yeah. What do you mean? That's not very convincing.
A lot of places that I really didn't want to be, but
just want to be at your house watching sports. That's all you want to do.
I quite literally.
Let's just be honest.
I quite literally on my wife's family had their Christmas on the 27th. Which they always have it after because that's when it's scheduled. Everybody aligns. And I'm sitting there. We'd already been there for 4 hours and I'd had enough. I took a nap on the couch in front of everybody.
I had a boy.
Took a nap on the couch in front of everybody.
Boy.
I was checked out.
I think that
was over it.
That says it all right there. Michael LaRue says this isn't the Liam Cohen offense. I thought the Bucs were keeping his system for continuity. This doesn't even resemble a Mike McDaniel offense. It looks like a high school playbook, and it needs to go. Grizz is not distinguishing himself, in my opinion. I don't see any magic in matchups that they're getting.
I don't see any scheming anybody open.
I don't see any
of it.
I don't see any of that.
And the third down or the red zone offense is deplorable. Deplorable.
Really bad. Just watching guys just run half-ass routes into the end zone. Like on that 3rd and 8, Godwin's running to a spot and turning around with 2 guys around him in the zone coverage. Like no picks, no zone. I'm like, what's the concept here? Nobody's open. And you're not even really running routes that are taking advantage of the defense. I don't see it. Mario Christian Jr. says the Bucs need to address the linebacker situation, the defensive end situation, and the DBs. Yes, they do. They need to address the entire defense. That's the thing right now. Sergio Biltris says Bucs ownership has realized that they kept the wrong guy. Jaguars are 12-4. Told you so. Told ya. Hate to say it, but no, I don't. Aviation 1436 says interception against Detroit, fumble against the Redskins, interceptions this year. This is who Baker is. So you want to go get a new quarterback? You want to go get a new one? What are you going to do?
It's not as cut and dry as that.
Who are you going to get?
It's not as cut and dry as that because even though the start of the season was fool's gold, let's not forget that all of those wins that they had.
He's making plays. Is it fool's gold?
I'm saying in general, the team, the way we felt about the team, it was all fool's gold. But my point is they started off 5-1, and mostly because they got down in those late games in the fourth quarter, and Baker Mayfield showed up. So it's not like it's not in him to be a killer in the fourth quarter. We've seen it this year. But he also has the ability to be a pumpkin in the crunch time. And that's because he's nowhere near the top of the league as one of those guys. He's just not. And now you can say that about a lot of guys in this league. He's not in that tier. And we probably put him in that tier too early this season.
Hold on. This is not. So I'm going to ask you. So he's played 2.5 years of really good football and a half a season of really bad football.
Mm-hmm.
When he lost all his receivers for the most part for most of this and had a terrible offensive line in front of him and a new coordinator who was not distinguishing himself.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to just punt on Baker now because of all that.
I'm not punting on him.
Aviation 1436 is, are you guys punting on Baker? Because here's the thing. You got to go get a quarterback. That's going to take resources, lots of them. And there's absolutely zero guarantee what you're going to get.
I'm not punting on him. But I'm just not going to sit here and say that he's absolved from blame.
No, I'm not saying that. He's making mistakes, and I think he's trying to do too much because nobody else is doing anything. Where's your run game? Is that helping you?
Nope.
Where's your screen game? Is that helping you? Did one receiver make a play yesterday that was outstanding? Saw a couple of sliding catches. Other than that, anybody break a tackle? There wasn't a minute left in the game and it didn't matter. Anybody? Did a running back make a special play?
No.
See any offensive lineman decleat somebody?
No.
So before we point the finger just at Baker, let's look at everybody. Mario Christian says this team needs more of a defensive-minded coach than an offensive-minded guy. Thoughts on that?
I just don't know about hiring another defensive coach. I just feel like the league, the way it is, you've got to get general manager, quarterback, and offensive mind right. Those are the three things in that order. In my opinion, to have long-term sustained success and to truly try to put yourself in the best situation to win a Super Bowl, if that's the goal around here, which it should be. And so if you hire another defensive-minded coach, well, he's got to bring in an OC. And if you have success, then that OC is going to leave through the building. We're watching it happen in real time here over the last 2 years with Canales and Cohen. That's right. The reality you live in. So I feel like it's got to be an offensive-minded coach, and then you go from there.
Okay, Sergio says it starts with ownership. Forget about starting with Bowles. Well, I guess by proxy. Aviation says the Glazers are soft as hell.
Where's all this sentiment coming towards the Glazers right now?
Because they won't fire.
I know everybody's but they don't fire him during the beginning of the season or during the season because they've never done that. But this is incomplete right now. We still haven't seen if they're going to keep Bowles or not. If they keep him, we can start to go after the Glazers then. Absolutely. But right now, I don't know what you go after them for.
Yeah. Nathan Stout says we've lost 3 games to backup quarterbacks, second and third string, Shuck and Ewers, and 1 second string Cousins. They are combined 7 touchdowns and 1 interception versus the Bulls defense. Great numbers. That's embarrassment. That's an embarrassment. Because how do you create turnovers? You jump routes for interceptions. Mostly you pressure the quarterback into making bad throws. Mm-hmm. And you physically come up and hit teams and knock the ball out. When's the last time you saw a Buccaneer punch at a ball? I asked Bowles that earlier this year. He's like, no, we teach that. I'm like, really? Because nobody does it.
Every now and then you get an Anthony Nelson punch out, once a year, maybe. That's about it.
He's about the only one I've ever seen punch at a ball. The other thing you see is guys will come in for a tackle and then go do this little exercise. Go watch the All 22 or even the TV copy. And guys come up. One guy will be tackling them. Watch the next 3 guys come up. What do? Do they get a lick in? Do they punch at the ball? Or do they walk away from the pile? Kendall Vildor. Do they shy away? Do they back up like this when they can take a shot? Spoiler alert, they back up.
They can't even recover a fumble when they got 6 guys around 1.
Right.
They have no instinct.
Well, that's part of it.
They just have zero instinct to make a play.
When you're playing not to get hurt, or you're looking for if you're playing that way, then that's what happens. When the ball's on the ground, I better go get it. When you're really playing, you're anticipating that ball coming out because somebody's coming up to hit, or you're doing the hitting and knocking the ball out. Yeah. It's a swarm mentality.
This just kind of reminded me too when you were talking about things to do to create turnovers. Were you impressed at all? I know the answer, but were you impressed at all with the was there any genius pressure packages yesterday against Quinn Ewers back there? Not a mobile quarterback, second start.
I don't even know if I ever saw the two linebackers mugging the A guy.
If there was ever a time to just bring the house on most of the plays and just overwhelm this kid.
Yeah.
I think yesterday was the day. Did it ever happen?
Did he even get hit?
I mean, they got 2 sacks, but
yeah.
But it just felt like they didn't even. It's like there was no interest in just putting just a bunch of havoc in this guy's face all day. It just wasn't there.
What else we got? Donald Vesey says JM made no effort to break up that interception. Yeah, he made no effort on the ball, and then he didn't even touch the guy when he was down, except to look at the ref and go, "Oh, he's down." No, you got to touch him, idiot. This
isn't college ball.
How is that even possible? How is that even possible? But it happens with the Bucs. What else we got? Aviation says, I actually played high school football against Theo Weiss Jr., and now I'm drinking beer watching him torch my team. Oh, my God. What a complete collapse, says Sergio. Greg Cruz says, why is Bucky yelling at his offensive line? He's been horrible, too. I know, right? Yeah, boy, this team has fractured. That's something that you really didn't think you would see this year that you're seeing.
But don't fret, everybody. Levante and Mike Evans stood up yesterday and they talked to everybody. So it's all going to be taken care of.
They don't worry, after guys. The game. Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. It's going to be okay.
Thomas Kessler says, but at the end of the day, Baker's shitty passes decided the loss. I mean, that's just, I understand what you're saying, Thomas, but it's not as simple as that. It's just not. There's so many more people. That's the most outward symbol. But there's so much more to the rotting foundation that's causing these losses. You should not be behind by 2 scores to the freaking Miami Dolphins that you have to throw every play. It's just awful. All right, last one here. This team is defeated before taking the field. This is a failure of leadership and coaching, Plays Blue Wolf says. I agree. That's what it seems like to me. Before this team even takes the field, they're already dead. You could just see it in their play. You could see it in their lack of energy. You could see it in their lack of preparation. That's what I'm saying. The plays like what McMillan did, and when you watch guys loaf around, that's like, it's not one play. It's the culture that you're seeing now. Mm-hmm. This team has lost its confidence. It's lost its mojo. It's just, and this is what bad football teams do. And it's really hard to turn it around within a season. It's really hard to do. And that's why it's just looked this way for a while. All right, we'll take another quick break. We'll come back with more of your comments. Tre Watson is going to join us, former Miami Dolphin, former captain of your Maryland football team. He played Big Ten Network. He's going to cover a lot of college football stuff for us here. So we'll talk a little bit about the big games coming up. We'll do a little bit more Bucs and more of your comments as well. So don't go anywhere. We got a lot more comments from your bitching and moaning on Bucs Monday. So don't worry about that. We got more of that coming your way in this whole second half of the show. We're about the great folks at 77.99. Make sure you do your annual insurance checkup at the beginning and end of every year. So it's that time. Just give them a call. Let them know all your insurance products that you have. They'll do all the scouring of the dozens of companies that they represent and see if they can find you a better deal or better coverage. That's what they do at Italiano Insurance, the best customer service in the business. 813-877-7799. Back in 3. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. At Genesis of Tampa, they got some serious ho-ho-ho going on this Christmas. It's the Miracle Holiday Sales Event and their 30 days of giving. First, for any new vehicle in the month of December sold, first payment will be deferred 90 days, and then the dealership will make the first payment up to $500. That can save you a lot of cash that you can use for Christmas shopping. And every day in December, they're giving away a $500 shopping spree. All you got to do is have your car appraised, and you get an entry into the daily drawing for the $500 shopping spree. And every weekend day in December, customers simply need to stop by the dealership, scan the QR code, and they get an entry into the $500 shopping spree contest. No purchase necessary. Test drive a vehicle, and we will 10x your entry into the shopping spree. Christmas and New Year's Eve, each holiday, if a customer books a test drive for the specified day, they will receive a themed t-shirt, limited edition, as well as an additional $250 off the purchase price. Bottom line is, get your butt and your sleigh down to Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue, just off 275 It's going to be a big Christmas at Genesis of Tampa. Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. You know, holidays are the best time to get engaged because all the family's already together. And at the Golden Diamond Source, they have thousands of diamonds to choose from in their jewelry wonderland. Looking for a gift that says forever? Find stunning engagement rings, diamond earrings, diamond bracelets, the most stylish gold fashion jewelry. And there's plenty for men in their new men's section and watch department. There's something for everyone on your list. And don't settle for anything less than perfection. At the Golden Diamond Source, they make it easy to give a gift they'll never forget. They wrap it up nice for you. You don't have to do any of that, guys. And they have a great staff there. You may not know what to get your lovely wife or girlfriend, but they do. Let them do the work. Hey, finance your purchase for 0% interest for up to 5 years. You could get a $5,000 diamond for only $84 a month. Don't go to the mall. Go to a local company and keep it local this Christmas at the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
So love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, think about the greatest tandems in sports. Montana to Rice, Brady to Gronk, Baker to Mike Evans. Well, here's a new one. Third generation plumbing and American Standard heating and cooling units. Our split systems offer the highest efficiency available while reducing energy bills and maximizing comfort. Third generation plumbing can handle anything mechanical around the house, plumbing, AC, whatever, and they install the best American Standard heating and cooling units. Built to last, made to perform. Whether it's a new install or an emergency repair, our family-owned team brings 3 generations of trusted service to your home, now with the unmatched reliability of American Standard heating and cooling. So don't wait for the summer heat to return. We've got you covered. Call Third Generation Plumbing and American Standard Heating and Cooling, 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. As we roll on a Pitch and Bone Monday, we are brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso, number 3 on your open table list as the best restaurants in all of Tampa, according to the readers. So go ahead and get your open table reservation at Cafe Paradiso for New Year's Eve. Might be filled up for New Year's Eve, but maybe you can get a special reservation. You never know. It's the place to be at Cafe Paradiso. Give them a call over there. Tell them JP sent you for some of the best traditional Italian food in all of Tampa Bay. Cafe Paradiso. All right, Tre Watson is here with us. Just got off the phone with your bro, huh? Christian. How's he doing?
He's doing good, man. They've got some things to clean up, figure things out after 3 straight losses. Had a chance at the 1 seed and the division, and end up dropping 3 in a row, having some tough injuries and everything like that. So,
yeah, they're getting beat up.
Yeah, trying to figure out the best way to get healthy. I think they're going to learn from their lesson of last year, playing too many guys in a meaningless game. I don't think that'll happen again this year against the Vikings.
No,
they'll rest those guys, and then whether they end up playing, I think it's down to Philly or Chicago for the wild card game. They're going to get those guys ready to go, and both of those teams have weaknesses as well. So he's primed to do what he needs to do to help them win a playoff game.
So I've been watching some of their games in other NFL football, and then I turn on the Bucs game. I'm saying one thing does not look like the other. Like, these playoff teams are flying around with energy, a lot of physicality. And you watch the Bucs, especially on defense yesterday, where they're giving up 11 yards of play in the first half to the Miami Dolphins, the juggernaut. I don't think that was Marino playing quarterback, was it?
No, Quinn Ewers. But hey, man, he went out there and took advantage of his moment. I'll tell you that. But the Bucs have really struggled. As good as they looked to start the season, Baker was a top MVP candidate. I mean, it wasn't even a joke. And at this point, they couldn't be further from all of that. And you can't really blame health at this point like you could at different points in the season. So you just have to say, what is it? Every game has been meaningful football because the division's been on the line all year long.
Yeah.
Carolina doesn't want the division anymore. And then now they both played so bad to end the season that the Falcons actually have a chance through tiebreakers. So it's just crazy how that division has kind of just collapsed over the last month and a half of the season. And the Bucs have avoided every chance to do what was needed to be done.
Have you ever played on a team? You played a lot in college as a team captain at Illinois, Maryland. Have you ever played on a team that's been so diametrically different from the beginning of the season? As something happened at some point that made the Bucs go south?
I've definitely been on some teams where you're just like, what changed? And it can be a key injury, your quarterback, a leader on offense or defense, a guy on the offensive line who kind of holds the group together. That can happen, or something internally. A coach said something and it's not a big deal outside of the locker room, but within, you're sitting there wondering, well, if that's how he feels, then how do we kind of move on from there? So something has happened. Whether we know exactly what it is or not, we won't really be able to tell, but the team just isn't operating the same way. You've got the team that's largely a group of veterans who have been through the Super Bowl time period, a lot of those players, and they just don't look the same. Guys who are previously Pro Bowl, all-pro players, still not playing at that level. Emeka Egbuka, young player, started off really, really hot. He's fallen off right along with everything else. So something is up. I couldn't really point to you one thing or another what it is.
I think they've lost confidence in their coaching staff. And when players lose confidence in the coaching staff, this is kind of what it looks like. When you don't believe in the game plans, you don't believe in the checks, you don't believe in the adjustments that are going on. Guys are just, you hear stuff and you roll your eyes, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's very, very possible. Very possible. And there's a level of disconnect there that it hasn't been able to be rectified. And at this point in the season, it probably can't.
I just can't get over, though. Like, you got to have, I feel like as a player, you got to have pride, as a team at some point to dig yourself out of it. And this is a coaching staff that has said repeatedly, we've done all we can as coaches. This is on the players. And I don't know what those conversations look like and what the players are dealing with. But yesterday we're watching the game. And it's like, you got veteran players who look like they're, loafing, I guess is the term you want to use. I hate to use that word sometimes because these guys are all out here battling, but last week, you see a player like Levante David who looks like he's not running to the football. You got players in this game that, look like they're not taking on contact to pick up an extra yard, on third down and stuff like that. Those are things I just can't make sense of. And it's like, you're not playing, the San Franciscos right now of the world and the Seattles of the world like you played earlier in the year. This is New Orleans. This is Carolina. This is Arizona. This is Miami. Where is the pride, I guess, is where I just get stuck on as players to just figure it out.
You can legitimately lose a team. And that's potentially what's happened here. Like you said, you named Levante David, a guy who's known for nothing but high-level play on horrible Bucs teams, on the best Bucs teams that have ever been assembled. So it's not like it's just a normal thing to see this type of stuff happen. So again, the stuff you talked about, the coaches saying, we've done all we can. I've never heard of something like that, at least being said outwardly.
Yeah.
That's a first for me. And the sad part about it is it might be true. There might be some truth to that statement in that the players are refusing to do what they're being asked to do, resulting in the lows, resulting in the missed assignments, the missed tackles, not executing when you have an ability to finish. And all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, we'll never really know exactly what it is. But when you see guys like him taking plays off or whatever you want to call it, there is, like I said, there truly is something there. I don't know if it's a player-to-player thing, a player-to-coach thing, or a combination of the two. But it's wild to see.
Yeah, that's frustration manifesting itself, because those are guys that always play hard and always have played hard. And you just get to a point where it's just like, man, nobody else is doing what they're supposed to do. It's like, it looks like you're loafing out there, and it's more just frustration. You're just like, Jesus, can anybody do what they're supposed to do? John Hill says the GM is accountable and should be replaced. Aviation also says this is who Jason is. This is who Baker is. It's our fault for jumping the gun on Baker and crediting Jason for Tom coming to Tampa. So now we're going to rewrite history, and Jason Licht gets no credit for Tom Brady coming to Tampa. Come on now. You're not going to win the Super Bowl every year. That doesn't mean you erase what has been done previously, and those guys don't get any credit for it. That's not how this works.
I hate to even have to address it because it's ridiculous, but why did Tom Brady had his choice to pick who he wanted to go to?
Yes, he did.
In that offseason. And if the Bucs just had this horrible roster that Jason Licht had built to that point, Tom Brady wouldn't have been here.
Right.
He wouldn't have.
No.
If Jason Licht hadn't gone to Bruce Arians, who was happily retired for all we knew.
That's correct.
Bruce Arians wouldn't have been the head coach. And let's not rewrite history either. This didn't start with Tom Brady. It really started with Bruce Arians the year before, right?
Yeah.
So that is all Jason. And the previous league, and I know they're not really playing like it now, but all of the all-pro, Pro Bowl players that are littered all over this roster, they're all guys that Jason drafted.
Yeah.
And got into the building and obviously developed and turned into that. They're not showing it this year, but it was all there. So I think that Jason, sort of, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve criticism for certain things, and we've talked about it openly. Like, he probably should, there needs to be a retool of his strategy in terms of taking maybe more big swings and not just relying on, hey, Servassier Dennis is a guy we drafted in the 5th round. We like him. Hey, he's going to be our starting linebacker this year. When you knew probably that's not good enough. And that's bared itself out on the field. Like, there are some things he needs to retool, but I don't think you for one second think about replacing Jason Licht.
I agree. I think Jason's done it. I think he's done a great job. He's had some misses. And I think you're looking at some players right now and how they're playing. You're going, are they good players? Let's just say these are the same players that were 6-2. Okay. So how did they become this bad? Are they really, really bad players, or have they lost confidence in the coaching staff, playing at a frustrated level and not committed level? Because when I say this all the time, Trey, when you see teams that aren't committed and teams that are, it just looks different, right? The energy looks different. It's a different level of speed on the field, a different level of physicality, especially. And that's what we've seen especially since the Bucs team that just doesn't fly around. And it's a lot of guys coming up on the pile and shying away instead of taking a shot, trying to get a turnover.
There's also just purely an endurance component to the NFL season, right? They added another game. It's 18 weeks. That's with, not including the training.
Yeah, they look
the
tired.
Off-season program. Yeah. I mean, again, you don't win those games they did early just because we lucked into it. No, it's something has changed. And not everyone can sustain that really high level of play for the course of a season. That's why you look over the course of history, it's not, man, who started 5-0, who even had the best record in the regular season, who was hot
at the
going
end,
into the playoffs,
healthy and hot.
And it all comes together. And the Bucs have had their fair share of injury issues, but I think, you point out the linebacker situation. I think since they, weren't really loving the play of Devin White towards the end, it's kind of been Levante David and whoever else is on the roster. It's not really, there hasn't been an investment in that other linebacker position because the off-ball linebacker is a bit devalued in the league. And you can get away with that when you have, really athletic corners. You have an all-pro safety who you drafted who's, top 3 at his position every year. You have a top 3 tackle that you drafted, one of the best in the game. They've hit in a lot of places. Hit on a great running back, Bucky Irving. Before him, Rashad White has been productive every time he's been given a kind of a focal point role. And look, Baker is a really good quarterback. He is, when he's playing at his best, easily one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. Has this season tapered off? Sure. He lost one of the best receivers to ever play the game for the majority of this season.
That's right.
That's going to affect you. Chris Godwin, who's been a really good receiver in his time, has missed as many games as he's played in the last 2-3 years, basically. And then your rookie, who started off hot, fell off.
Yeah, hit the wall.
That's a natural part of being a rookie in the NFL and having to endure 18 weeks of the hardest football you've ever played in your life. So all of these things have just really come together in a perfect storm for the Bucs. And the craziest part about it is they still have a chance to go out and do what you need to do.
You're saying that we have a chance.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for at the end, because man, if they go out there and dominate the Panthers in a big key moment and they go into the playoffs and you get a matchup that works out for you, you just got to keep winning.
Well, the matchup is the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, they didn't work out very well.
I watched that game 6 weeks ago.
It was non-competitive.
There you go.
Matthew Stafford was 12 for 12, and every guy was wide freaking open. Yeah, they could have scored 60 that day. If they come here in the playoffs and they're not taking the foot off the gas pedal, woo, Lordy. You don't want to watch that? I want to watch that.
They're a dome team. Let it rain or something. Mess them up.
Yeah, I just don't think that's going to be enough. Some cloud seeding going. Aaron Madali says the Panthers are winning next week, guys. They don't lose back-to-back. It's over for us. That is true.
Their schedules literally turned out. They've gone win-loss every game this year.
Yeah.
Which is, I just don't know if that's more insane than, I don't know. There's a lot of weird things about this division. Nothing makes sense. The Panthers have like a negative 65 point differential. Yeah. The Bucs have a negative 40 point differential. And this is a game that's going to be played to take up a playoff spot.
And a home game.
And a home game. And this is not new because the Bucs did this 3 years ago.
Whoever comes here is probably going to have 11 or 12 wins to the 8 of the division.
The Rams are going to win probably 13 games and have to go all the way across country to play a playoff game because there are 2 other teams in their division that are going to win 14 games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what else we got here before we get to the college stuff. John Hill says the NFL is asking this shit show be done as soon as possible by scheduling the last game as the first game of the last week, 4:30 p.m. Saturday kickoff time on the Cartoon Network. So if you don't have the Cartoon Network, you gotta have to go stream that as well. How many streaming packages do you need this year?
For week 17, you needed 7 streaming packages. Exactly, to watch every game. And I don't know if you paid attention, but a lot of these games that have been, I think this has something to do with the fact that the regular season has been extended now, probably. But there are more guys who seem to be injured, specifically at the quarterback position. And I think Christmas Day, we watched I had to watch Max Brosmer.
Backups
on Christmas Day.
Third string.
Max Brosmer. Josh Johnson started on Christmas Day game.
That's the greatest.
A lot of these games you're making us pay extra money for aren't good football. I'm just not good football you're watching.
Josh Johnson was here as a rookie in 2011?
No, 2008.
2008?
2009.
Yeah.
I was still at Channel 8. Oh, my Lord.
That's in elementary school.
Dude,
and he's still.
What does that say about young quarterbacks and how we're developing quarterbacks? That Phillip Rivers is back and Josh Johnson is still starting games at age 85.
It's been a rough time period for the young quarterbacks. They can't figure out a system that works. The transition from college to the NFL, guys just aren't up to speed. And the Phillip Rivers one tells you all you need to know. Josh has been sitting there as the emergency third quarterback. So, he wouldn't have played if Marcus Mariota hadn't gotten hurt as well. So, there's kind of that to it. But it's still pretty sad to see. You see all these young talents who do so well in college, and you're like, well, where do they all go? They have to have some.
Are the systems in college so much different than the systems in the pros? That they're not developing the quarterbacks to read the field? It's just they're cutting it down to half reads, zone reads, so RPOs.
There's a simplicity factor to the college game, the check with me systems where you're looking to the sideline and the coach is making the audible, making the adjustment right there based on what he sees. So it's removing the mental side of the game from the quarterback. They're not shouldering as much mental load. That's why they can go out and physically play a lot faster and do a lot of things. And then there's clock rules that are different in college. The hashes, are a big factor, which you see a lot of quarterbacks and quarterback coaches and former players, kind of saying, hey, can we standardize the game so that it's a more easy transition from
that makes sense.
College to the NFL?
Because hash marks,
you get used to seeing the same thing. You're playing the same style of game. In high school and college, when you're on one hash, you have, I think it's like 36 yards of field to one side versus 14 on the other, or something crazy like that. So it's insanely different than when you get to the NFL level. The hashes are not nearly as much of a factor, and it's a different methodology of calling plays and how you operate and how you're able to read the field.
Interesting. That's interesting. And that keeps that makes it harder for these college quarterbacks to come in and play. And you don't get any development time anymore. Like the whole idea of drafting an Anthony Richardson, like, oh, we'll take 2-3 years to no. You don't get that much time. You think you do. You think you're going, oh no, we'll commit to him. No, after you've gone 7 or 8 losses or they get hurt, you're moving on. You have to. It's business. So that's the tough part of it for these young quarterbacks. Matt Doria says Bowles and Baker both look more clueless in their press conferences as the weeks go on. It's time to clean house with this coaching staff and get a younger-minded offensive head coach. I agree with that. That's why I wanted Liam Cohen to take over. But who's out there? Clint Kubiak? Is he the next guy?
He is going to be the hot name from an offensive, if you're looking for an offensive head coach. But that's kind of the problem this year is a lot of the top candidates are defensive guys, unless you want to start going into retread territory with, the Matt Nagy's of the world, who I just don't understand why his name is out there. I mean, he's because if you're the Kansas City offensive coordinator, you always seem to get a look, but this has not been the year for Kansas City for their offensive coordinator. You would think to get a look.
No.
So I don't understand the Matt Nagy stuff. And we already saw all that experience when as a head coach. And then you're down to Mike McCarthy is a guy out there, but I'm not saying Mike McCarthy doesn't deserve a crack at this, and you could definitely do worse than him, but does that inspire you going the Mike McCarthy route? No,
not at all.
Yeah.
1,000%.
A lot of the guys who are the top candidates this year are all defensive coaches. Chris Shula is the big name in Los Angeles as everybody's on him. And Brian Flores is a guy who looks like he probably deserves another shot at that. And Robert Saleh, what he's done in San Francisco, they're all defensive guys for the most part. Outside of Kubiak, I don't know who that hot up-and-coming, and Grant Udinski, who's Cohen's offensive coordinator, he's 29 years old, though.
Yeah, and people are talking. Yeah, I know, but I'm just always skeptical. If the head coach is calling plays and you're the OC, like, what are you really doing? Mm-hmm. I know you're part of game planning and you're learning from him, but you're not the play caller. The play caller is the secret sauce, and that's Liam Cohen, and that's Shanahan. These great play callers and game planners too. It's people just think it's just about calling plays on that day. No, and that's a lot of the genius, right? Trey is the game planning where you're looking at the other team saying this is the weakness and this is how we're going to attack it. That's the game plan, right?
For sure.
And the good ones come up with great game plan. What was the game plan yesterday for the Buccaneers offensively? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Yeah. Defensively? Was there a game plan defensively? We're going to pressure Quinn. You were coming out. No? See any of that? What was the game plan? Like, if you can't figure out the game plan, then that's probably a bad sign.
Fair point.
You're looking like, what are we really trying to do here? Well, here, Rick has figured it out. He said, we should have all known it was over when during the pregame huddle, they said 1, 2, 3 Cancun. I missed that. Did that say what they said? Yeah. Was it Jameis? He may have done that. Let's see what else we got here, and then we'll move on to college football. Sergio says this team is 1-7 since the bye week. Worst team in the second half of the season. Complete collapse. I would agree with that. 100%. What else we got here? I want to get all you guys in here. Michael Hulk says Ian sounded like he's best friends with Bowles, like defending the guy in a street fight. I think the Ian Rappaport report was probably, to your point, Nick, more of his opinion than anything he's hearing from the owners. Yeah. James Rexroad said, earlier in this year when you said Vilma was bad, I really didn't agree, but he couldn't have been more unprepared, more lack of knowledge than any study of the Buccaneers. He was an embarrassment yesterday. He was, man. It's all the time I see this. It's brutal. It just looks like he goes with some of these, widely held narratives than actually doing any actual breakdown of the film each and every week, which is what good analysts should be doing. What else we got? Rick says, no way the Glazers keep Todd, especially with the Jags in first place. Does that have a bearing? I think it kind of does, because it kind of looks like an organization that you really screwed up, and you did.
Well, even now, different situation, can't compare the two, but it also doesn't look great, I guess, from a perception standpoint that Dave Canales, if you lose the division, it's a Dave Canales coach team.
Yeah.
That ends up beating you. And it's a Dave Canales coach team that is really still in a rebuild phase.
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference, I think, of why, like, if the Bucs win the division, I don't know a Bucs fan who's going to be, putting their fist in the air going, yes, we won the division. We get to host a playoff game, because we seem to be like past that at this point. Whereas the Panthers, they could finish the season 8-9 or 9-8 and go, man, we're still in our rebuild. And we happen to win the division, and they're invested. Like yesterday, they didn't look good against Seattle. Not many teams really do, to be honest with you. But that fan base is engaged. They're engaged in everything. I don't see a Bucs fan base that is engaged in anything right now. And why should they be? So it's two completely situations when you look at how the feeling would be for Carolina if they win the division and the Bucs if they win the division.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it does. If we win it, it's like, it's a consolation prize to get your ass kicked in the playoffs, and we really haven't progressed at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way you would look at this season, I would think. Formerly known as Jeff B says, we need to lose. It's the difference between pick 10 and pick 19. Is it that dramatic?
I believe if the Bucs lose the division, it'll be it'll be at the very least the 12th pick, I want to say.
And if they win, they're 19th.
If they win, you go to 19.
Oof. That's a big difference, especially when you're looking for an edge rusher.
That's rough in a class of players where, you're kind of going to have your pick if you're in that top 10, right? Depending on what happens with the quarterbacks. But anytime you drop 10 picks in the first round, you're talking about a pretty serious gap in talent available to you, or you have to spend a lot to go back up there and get that guy.
And when you're looking for, are we pretty sure that it's edge rusher this year? We're not going for another wide receiver or defensive back.
I think the big thing you have to fix and defensively is in the middle of the field, which is linebacker. And I know, like, off-ball linebacker is one of the things that you mentioned has been devalued around the league. But if you have one of those studs, like I'm watching Philly yesterday, and Zach Bond, I mean, he's tremendous. Like, he's running with James Cook on wheel routes step for step. Like, he's just a complete eraser. When Fred Warner's out there for San Francisco, complete eraser. Cleveland got Carson Schlesinger with like the first pick of the second round this year. He looks like a top 5 linebacker already. He's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. The Eagles got Jahad Campbell with like the 31st pick or something like that this past year. Like, when you find a guy that can be like an eraser at that position, it becomes a very valuable, position for you. And the Bucs right now, like, I just challenge you to find a room that is worse than the Bucs have it right now in linebacker. I think it starts there.
Brutal.
I think it starts there. And I think edge rusher, like, I would like to get a proven name, because that's the one thing you haven't tried. You've tried picking edge rushers in the first round, the second round, the third round, and you haven't really hit on anybody doing that philosophy.
Would you give up 2 1s for Max Crosby?
Yeah.
And you got to pay him $40 million a year.
I mean, you'd be tripping to turn down, a chance at Max Crosby if you're given that. I don't know if he's coming all the way out here anyway, to be honest. But you don't say no to guys like that, right? The same thing that happened with Green Bay. We don't think we can get Micah Parsons, but then once he becomes available, yes, there really is no limit to the price.
Yeah, and I felt like before Micah Parsons got injured, like when they made the trade for Micah Parsons, I initially thought, well, I don't even, independent of anything else Green Bay has, I'm already putting them in like they were my top Super Bowl contender in the NFC going in, because I thought it was as cut and dry. You go and get an impact player like that makes everybody else around you, and he's a game wrecker on that side of the football. The offense had all those players on it for Green Bay that we know are going to be good. LaFleur, a great offensive-minded head coach. That is what the impact of what a Micah Parsons trade was going to be. It sucks that he got hurt, obviously. And so now Green Bay has kind of a shell of a team of what they were. Still a good team, but not the same with Micah Parsons out there. But that's what that type of player, I think, does to your organization when you can go get him.
But that's part of the risk when you give up so much for one player, especially a player like Parsons who's been injured. That's the risk. But I mean, what was the juice that team, what did Christian say when Micah arrived? What kind of juice was that?
Everyone was ecstatic.
Crazy.
Man. I mean, you bring an already talented team, a team that was back-to-back in the playoffs, had an opportunity a couple of years ago against San Francisco in the divisional round, and you say, okay, all the development we've made, now you add on one of 3 or 4 guys in the league who basically can single-handedly destroy a game from the edge. I mean, we're talking about Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, and then Max Crosby. Like, those are the 4 guys that you can line them up on an edge, and by themselves, they can disrupt the whole flow of a game. You bring him into that mix, and you saw what it was. It was literally they were just itching to see what he was going to do. And now that they don't have him in the defense anymore, it's completely different. There is no pass rush. There is no juice on the defense. And that's just one guy.
One dude.
One guy.
It's such an important position. And to find those guys, they're typically, Max Crosby obviously is a bit of a outlier there. But to find those elite athletes at that level, they're all top 10, 15 picks.
Yeah.
They're not, you rarely find them like running backs and all these other positions. You can find good ones in other rounds. Edge rusher, very difficult because it is such a physical. I mean, these guys look different. Like they look different than everybody else. They do. And there's a reason. I mean, Myles Garrett looks different. He is a freaking monster and he's unblockable. 2, 3, it doesn't matter. But so you got to spend resources to find them. And when they're identified at the pro level and you already know who they are, yeah, to what I give. So the Bucs would be giving up a mid-round, first-round pick, and then one in the 127, which will probably also you would hope be a mid-round pick for a guy that's that dominant. Yeah, I'd do it because you can use that first-round pick anyway on an edge rusher. Now the money part is something else. You're going to allocate a lot of resources to Max Crosby, but I think it's worth it. You can see what this defense does without an edge rusher. It's just there's just no juice to it.
I mean, there's a lot more parts to it, but you're going to have to allocate a lot of money to Max Crosby. But think about, the cap's always going up. We know that. And
by $25 million a year.
Yeah, it's always going up. And I think I've alluded to this already, but before in the show, but I'm not convinced Vita Vea is going to get another contract in Tampa Bay. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And he's coming up to the end. I think next year is the last year on his contract, and he's going to be 31. I don't know if he's getting another deal in Tampa Bay. And so if you don't have him, obviously you got to go replace him. So it's kind of a game of, that's kind of how reality is, right? But there's going to be other money that comes off the books. Levante's going to retire. His money's going to come off the books. Mike Evans eventually is going to retire. His money is going to come off the books. Like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's time to invest in the defense with an edge rusher. Totally agree. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We're going to get into the college football playoff here with Tre and Nick. We are brought to you by the great folks at Onsite Construction. We just had Devin, one of our listeners, reach out to Onsite Construction, and he's hopefully going to be remodeling his new house. So Onsite Construction, great folks over there. Jason Fawcett is the owner. Give them a call. Just go to onsiteconstructionfl.com and you can get in touch with them, see some of their great work on their website and get all the 5-star Google reviews as well. Onsite Construction FL. JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park. So free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man, Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. It is Bitch and Moan Monday. I know we got tons of comments coming in. We'll try to get to all of you guys. We want to get to some of the college stuff as well and the Lightning. So hang in there. Lots to get to here. Why is 2 hours just not even enough? We're brought to you by the great folks at Riveters Day. Hey, they're going to have a really, really great New Year's Eve party. So if you're looking to go someplace and not spend a gazillion dollars, that's kind of cool and casual and laid back, they've got a great setup. Just go to their website, riveterstampa.com, and see all the specials that are going on. They got shot specials going on. They're going to have a DJ. It'll be a fun party. Always fun to hang out at Riveters. Great food, great fun, great staff, great prices. So head on over there and tell them JP sent you for New Year's Eve. For New Year's Eve. What are you guys doing for New Year's Eve? Trey, you got big plans?
Big plans?
You got young kids.
Yeah.
So you don't have big plans on New Year's Eve.
No, it's a competition to see if they'll stay up until midnight, but we'll see how that goes.
I haven't made it to midnight in like the last 3 years. And I don't think I'm going to make it this year either.
Nick is the oldest 25-year-old. How old are you now?
26.
26. The oldest 26-year-old you'll ever meet.
There you go.
So Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you Petermans out there. All right, let's get to what's coming up this week. We got the ReliaQuest Bowl coming up. I saw a lot of the Vanderbilt players were out last night hanging around Benchmark International Arena. I think they're staying over there at the JW, taking on Iowa, right?
Yeah, very two different styles, I guess, for that game.
Polar opposites.
Yeah. The defense of Iowa against is Pavia playing?
Yeah, he's playing. He actually was kind of made for him, but I think on Saturday night there was a live event at Benchmark for WWE, and he was involved in one of the.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he did like a run-in spot or whatever.
That's funny.
For Rey Mysterio.
I did not
Seemed
know
like
that.
a perfect spot for Diego Pavia.
Yeah. And taking advantage of the moment, man.
Yeah.
While you can.
Is he coming back for another year?
I
He's
don't
done.
think so.
He's
but
done.
He's done.
He's done.
He would if they would let him.
I mean, listen, they got.
Why wouldn't
like, TJ Finley's coming back for a 7th year. This guy's been at 7 schools. He's coming back again. So I don't know what the rules are. I don't know.
All right. So before we get into some of the matchups, we mentioned John Garrett, who was at FSU, now coming back to FSU as their general manager after serving 2 years at Duke and winning an ACC championship. Is that a thing?
It goes in the record book.
Goes on the resume.
Yes, it does.
He got a good quarterback in Mensa to come to Duke. A much better quarterback than FSU got, and Tommy Castellano, who's moving on. So FSU is now looking for a quarterback. There's one Rocco Becht that is available now. And we do have some inside knowledge on that. I'll say this, that Rocco had a very good call with Florida State with Mike Norvell, and I had thought that Rocco would not entertain the Gus Malzahn offense, but I've been told that he likes what they've talked to him about and would be very excited to play in that system. Drawbacks are he has no idea who the offensive line is going to be, as we're 7 days away from the portal, and they have to replace their entire offensive line. And Javon Boggs has moved on into the portal. Not sure if he's coming back to FSU.
No, he's coming back to UCF.
You think he's coming back to UCF?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's
Who, Rocco or Boggs?
It'd be nice if both did, but I feel pretty confident that Boggs is gonna just go back to UCF because he was committed to UCF for like almost 2 years before he flipped on signing day.
What the hell is UCF offering?
Chill. I mean, come on now. We're offering.
What the hell is FSU offering?
We're offering Power 4 football. Okay.
Oh man, that's funny.
Playing in a stadium that could fall apart at any moment.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
Thank you.
Uh-oh.
No. Yeah. So where's Rocco going? You're talking about UCF. I don't see that happening.
It's been like this thing in UCF circles only because they're following like all these little dots that are happening because Anthony Becht is now going to be coaching the Orlando Storm. Mike Rapoli is very involved in the UFL, and Mike Rapoli also is a big time donor, booster, whatever you want to call it, for UCF. And he might be funding the bill for the next quarterback.
Well, I can tell you this: money is not going to be the deciding factor for Rocco because he's going to get a ton of it,
He'll
and
get
everybody's gonna offer something similar.
I don't know why he would come to UCF. I'll just put it that way. But that's been like the discussion on UCF kind of Twitter.
And obviously, his coach has gone to Penn State, Matt Campbell, and they have a very easy schedule this year. Penn State, they're not playing Ohio State, they're not playing USC, they're not playing Oregon. So they've got obviously an existing offensive line there. Receivers, we'll see. But if Rocco goes there, there'll be a bunch of receivers that follow. So I would say probably Penn State might be leader in the clubhouse there. Florida State is taking its shot. We'll see if they can get it. If they can get Rocco, that's a huge get. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen, but they're in the conversation. So we know that. Byron Brown, are we hearing anything on Byron?
I haven't seen anything, but I mean, you have to figure Auburn has always been like the one everybody says, but I don't know because Auburn's got Deuce Knight, who was the top quarterback in the last cycle, and we only got to see him for one game this year against Mercer. I mean, it was against Mercer, but for what it's worth, he had like 400 something yards of offense by himself. Like to me, like that should have been priority number one, I would think, for Golish and his staff there was keeping Deuce Knight there, keeping him happy, and he's the future. Because you can, if he hits, you get him for, an extended time period. Where at Byram, you get him for 1 year.
I would think so. I mean, Golish is going to kick the tires on Byram if he feels like Deuce would entertain going somewhere else, which it doesn't seem like he's going to yet. But like you said, for the longevity of the program, you want to use the in-house guy first if you think he has the potential to get it done. Byram is going to go somewhere, one where they're going to give him the money that he said. It's finally my opportunity to earn it.
Yeah.
But you're talking about a guy who, 3,000 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards, doing a lot of those first time ever records for a quarterback in the FBS. The guy has ability. Now he's going to get this last year. He's going to go somewhere that's going to be primed to compete for a championship because, I mean, that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Thought he had a chance at USF and, missed that opportunity this year. I think he would definitely see what Auburn is talking about if Golish does decide to go that way, but I would probably lean towards him going somewhere else.
I would think that Golish would have – I would think Auburn has already made that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've told Golish, hey, we got Deuce. He's staying if you're coming, so you're not bringing Byram. I think that would – there's no way Byram would go there and compete. Why would he go compete somewhere with a guy like that when you can go anywhere and be handed the starter's job with a shit ton of money?
No, he won't go to compete. And I think they said that Deuce is already making like $2+ million a year. So Auburn's probably tired of, hey, we're not paying the young guy and all these transfers.
I don't think he's going on.
Yeah. So, and they've been burned by the transfer, 2-3 times in a row now. So I would try something different.
Now, Byram in the Gus offense, I think that'd be pretty good. Go to Florida State, Byram. No,
there you go.
Stay at USF. But either way, he gonna get paid. But I still think there's talk that Byram could come back to USF.
You think?
I see social media folks thinking that. I think it's more hopeful than anything, but I think it's a possibility.
I mean, they got to figure out a quarterback situation too, because I don't think they have it on the roster. USF.
I just what's crazy about this is as we're going to transition. Like here is Brian Hartline at Ohio State getting ready to take on Miami, and he has to pour all of his.
Well, I don't know because the Day's taking the play calling duties away from him.
I know
for the playoffs, so it takes a lot off of what Hartline's doing.
I know. But still, he's got to be lining up a quarterback at USF. He's got to be in all these discussions and doing everything. I think it's great that coaches stay and coach through. It's just this whole freaking cycle is ridiculous. We got to figure this out where coaches aren't, having to coach two different places at the same time. We don't do that in the NFL. We should find a way to not do it in college. Make sense?
It does. It's going to be extremely hard given the school calendar part of it because they don't want to make you an employee, as a student athlete. So that's his whole own thing.
Are we still going to class in college?
Hey, look, for a little bit,
really,
a little bit. Well, I don't know. I'm 6 years removed, so I don't know how they operate these days. When you're getting paid.
Well, you guys used to have to go to school.
Yeah. We had class checkers and everything.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
It's probably not. Or if there are, if I'm getting paid $150,000 and I don't feel like going today, the class checker might just take a little bonus to look the other way. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna say what they are or aren't doing.
I would listen.
The money's moving around.
Yeah, if I'm making $4 or $5 million and I'm living in an 11-bedroom mansion like Shedeur Sanders was, am I really getting up to go to school?
Yeah, chemistry. Yeah. Chemistry at 8 a.m.
Yeah, that's what it is. But not at school. All right, so let's talk about this game's coming up New Year's Eve. Miami, Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl Classic down there at Jerry World. A reminder of what was it, the 2002 national championship game where Miami was robbed of that national championship. Yeah. I hate to admit that, but it's true. What do you think? What do you see here?
I mean, Miami has a really talented team. They flirted with disaster at A&M. But we're able to pull it out really just barely. They're going to run into a juggernaut though. Ohio State has everything you need. They've got talent everywhere. They've got speed. They've got size. I think at the end of the day, it's still going to come down to the quarterbacks though. Can Carson Beck finally play well in a big game? We've seen him play well early in the season here at Miami, and we saw him do great multiple regular seasons at Georgia. But in those big games, he just didn't live up to it. And on the flip side, Julian Sand had a rough time against Indiana. Finally someone came up against them and put on a real show, and we were able to beat them. So I think it comes down to the two quarterbacks there. It should be a really good game, and it's a matchup, right? We haven't seen a Miami-Ohio State kind of matchup since those old early 2000s national championships. So I'm excited to see them play.
Ohio State is a 9.5-point favorite.
After the way Miami played against A&M, kind of just not doing what was successful for them, right? They kept trying to veer away from the run game, and they were averaging like 7-8 yards a carry no matter who ran the ball.
Right.
You know, if they do that again, Ohio State will pull away.
I can't count out Miami in this. I mean, Ohio State's got dudes at every level of the field. We know that. I can't count out Miami because when it comes to the trenches, I think Miami can play with anybody in college football. Anybody. I mean, I think you could, if you went player by player, like you'll find some wins in there against Ohio State's personnel in Miami. So that's why I can't count them out. You know, everybody wants to go to the quarterback because, you know, it's what we do with an out. We always focus on the quarterbacks. And yes, you probably are going to say that Sayan has more ability than Carson Beck. I don't think anybody's going to question you there if it came down to that. But I don't think it's going to be a major part in this game. I think it is going to be a trench battle, kind of how the A&M game was. And I think it's going to be a battle of who runs the ball. I mean, Ohio State's got their true freshman, Bo Jackson, who's been running the ball really well, you know, lately. And then Mark Fletcher obviously was tremendous against A&M. I think that's what it's going to more come down to. And that's why I can't count out Miami in this football game.
Yeah, I like Miami in the 9.5. I think I just don't. Watching Ohio State play against Indiana in that Big Ten championship game, that was an eye opener to me. I think Ohio State is a really talented football team. I don't know if they're a great football team. I don't know if they've been tested enough this year. I think I'll take the 9.5 all day on that.
They got the one guy on the field though that I don't think anybody has an answer for.
No.
They got the one guy, Jeremiah Smith. So,
yeah, but Mesidor and Bain will have something to say about him having time to find them.
They will.
Those two, I think are the difference makers. And either one of them can line up in a Bucs uniform next year. That would be nice. Ole Miss in Georgia at 8:00 on New Year's Day in the Sugar Bowl. Georgia's 6.5-point favorite. Your thoughts on Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin?
I mean, look, they did exactly what they needed to do in the first round. But Georgia is going to be a bit of a different beast, so they're going to have to come prepared. You know, I don't see Kirby Smart not having that team come out there and dominate. They convinced themselves that they were underdogs this season somehow. Like, dude, you're the University of Georgia. You won back-to-back championships. Probably should have won 2 or 3 more. So you know that team is a literal juggernaut and has been since Kirby Smart walked through the door. So Ole Miss is really going to have to go in there and do something really special to make it happen.
My general rule of thumb is I don't bet against Georgia and Kirby Smart. I just don't do it, and it usually doesn't steer you wrong when you do that. And I feel like there have been teams throughout this season, Ole Miss included, the first time they played them, you had a chance to knock them off. You had a chance. Some other teams had a chance to do it too, and they just couldn't do it. And you allowed Georgia to stay in the fight. And I think Georgia's found their best ball at the right time of the year. And I don't want to play that team.
No,
I don't want to play that team. In fact, I think they're the favorite. I think they're the favorite going in.
In the playoff right now, you're taking Georgia?
I do.
All right. I'm going to still hold on to my Oregon pick just because I want to see something different. Or Indiana. Alabama, Indiana, 4:00 on New Year's Day. Indiana's a 7-point favorite in this game. I was very impressed with Alabama's comeback from 17-0 down. That was impressive. Ty Simpson was really, really good. And maybe that gave them the confidence to turn the corner. I'm just not going to go against Cignetti until he proves me wrong. It just, I don't know what kind of genius this guy's working with, because he's got some good players. They've paid for some good players, but I don't know. I just think he outcoaches DeBoer. What do you think?
I would agree. And it's not even necessarily that it's going to be 100% the coaching. It's just the way Bama looked. And yes, they did come back from 17 down at Oklahoma, but it felt like Oklahoma gave them the ability to get back into that game, because prior to the pick six, it felt like this is the SEC championship all over again. Yeah. Bama looks horrible, and they still don't have a run game. Maybe had like 2 or 3 runs that gave you anything to write home about. And with the way we've seen Indiana play, nothing that Bama did against Oklahoma tells me that they're going to be able to look even remotely that good against that Indiana team. I just feel like Indiana genuinely right now is the best team in the country. And if you give that Indiana team a chance to get a hot start, you're not coming back. You just aren't.
That just sounds weird. Indiana's the best.
It truly does. It truly does. But they've earned that respect all the way through. And man, Indiana winning the Rose Bowl and going to the college football playoff semifinal as the 1 seed. Nothing about that sounds right, but I think that happened.
College football's on its head. Thoughts?
I don't believe in Alabama at all because they just can't run the football. And at this point in the season, I think Ryan Grubb admitted it about a few weeks ago that they've tried everything. It doesn't matter who they put back there. It doesn't matter what scheme they don't have any answer for it. If you can't run the football at this time of the year and you can't control the line of scrimmage, I just don't see how you can run through the gauntlet. And I don't think you could beat Indiana that way, given how we just saw Indiana line up against Ohio State. So they could prove me wrong, but I just don't believe in Alabama. I haven't believed in them since they got into the playoff. It's nice they came back against Oklahoma, but I also think Oklahoma was a very flawed football team as well. And I think that was part of it.
Plus, Alabama lost to Florida State. You
get disqualified immediately.
DQ'd right there. Or Oregon and Texas Tech. That'll be the nooner on January 1st. Oregon is a 2.5-point favorite in this one. I love Dan Lanning. I think he plays a very Georgia-esque type of game, even though it has Oregon on the uniform. Quarterback, I think, is really, really good. But Texas Tech has been phenomenal all year long. I just think I'm going to give Oregon the nod just because Texas Tech has really never been here before. And they got a high school coach.
Oh, you're not a McGuire fan?
Yeah.
I think Texas Tech could play. I mean, Texas Tech's defense, I think, matches up well against anybody in the country. I think they've proven that at that point. Now, have they seen an offense like Oregon yet? No, they have not. And I think that plays a role in it, and me kind of picking Oregon. But also, I don't know how I feel about the Tech offense. I think, they got some solid players, but I think in terms of the teams that are remaining, they probably got the weakest set of players on offense. I think you probably would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Morton, I'm not sure how I feel about him in a close game if he has to go out there and win it with his arm. And the Oregon defense is going to be just as good as any or better than any defense they've played as well. I think there's too many unknowns there for me to confidently pick Texas Tech. And Lanning, I don't care where the game's played. I want to run through a wall for that guy.
Yep.
He has his team ready to go no matter where they're playing.
He really does. And I'd agree with you 100% on the Tech offense. I think this game has a chance to be the best game of the quarterfinal slate, but that's going to require Tech's defense being what they've been against this Oregon offense. They're going to have to be special. Bailey's going to have to generate pressure because if he doesn't, Dante Moore's going to dice him up. I mean, that dude is legit. That tight end is insane. They've got a bunch of weapons around him. They got like 3 or 4 different running backs, I think, that they can use and do whatever they want to do. But I think in order for it to be a really good game, that defense is going to have to make some plays. Those linebackers are really good players. They've been extremely opportunistic. Took over the both games against BYU, basically kind of just turned that game up on its head and gave the offense some short fields and opportunities for Morton to succeed. I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but we know he hasn't gone up against a team of the caliber of Oregon. So, I hope they keep it close. We want some good games. That first round was half blowouts like we expected, and then a little bit of good play sprinkled in. We want this quarterfinal slate. Like this is big time football. These are big heavyweight matchups. And I do like a point Dan Lanning said earlier in the week. Like it would be so nice if this quarterfinal was at campuses as well. Like this Oregon Texas Tech game in Lubbock on campus, biggest game in Texas Tech history. Like that would be awesome.
And they probably deserve that advantage.
I
They
agree.
earned that advantage throughout what they did.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for Indiana. Like imagine a home playoff game for Indiana.
that
Like
would
the
be
Rose Bowl
special.
special for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But a home playoff game at Indiana?
It would be awesome. And just the thought, like obviously Ohio State, Miami, that's an awesome one as well, dating back to the games we know from the early 2000s and the 90s. But like the thought of potentially an Iron Bowl playoff rematch or the game Michigan Ohio State playoff rematch, all that stuff is possible on campus.
Yeah.
A quarterfinal game, we should be able to get that. Like the FCS does it great. Montana State, to basically that was the national championship. You kind of feel like it because of how much better they are than everyone else in the field. That stuff is special. To be able to recreate those moments, potentially having those games 2-3 weeks apart from each other, like you can't really beat that type of stuff. So I think if we were able to hold off the neutral sites until that semifinal and then the final game, it would kind of, it'd make those singular bowl games more special, like we've seen everyone this year really leaned into the Pop-Tarts Bowl, the Cheez-Its Bowl, all the little elements that make bowl games special. And the coaches are doing a great job of emphasizing these are opportunities that you only get once a year.
I know.
You get 12 guaranteed. You have to earn every single one after that. It's special. You only get 4, maybe 5, disregarding the 6th and 7th year guys, years to play this game of college football. And every single time you get to put the uniform on, it's literally sacred. So
if you were a Notre Dame player, would you be pissed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you're going to the NFL, Jeremiah Love, for instance, you don't think he can resonate with the fact that, yes, he's going to the league and he's going to make a bunch of money, and he's already made some. But there are guys in his team who are going to go be an accountant next year or go to law school.
Lots of them.
And they're never going to suit up again.
I know.
And, oh, well, we didn't make the playoffs, so we're good.
Yeah, I don't like
that. That sucks. It's literally it.
Yeah, they said they asked. Well, I don't know if they said, Notre Dame said they asked the players. I know some of these other teams were like, yeah, the players voted and they didn't want to play.
Yeah, I just can't see it because there's so many. One, there's some money involved. 2, there's opportunities to leverage that time period to continue to develop your roster that you don't get until you get your 15 spring ball practices. How can you turn those down?
Yeah,
unless you're trying to start over your entire staff and you're trying to work out all this stuff, and I got to focus on the portal.
Florida State turned down a bowl game. Maybe they should have at 5-7, but you could have gotten 15 more practices in.
Yeah. Continue to develop your team and have opportunities to grow your brand even further, bring new recruits. Hey, if you're local to wherever we go to the bowl game, come on out to a practice.
Yeah.
Go see what we're doing.
There's a lot.
And then be a part of this moving forward. Your early enrollees get to do some of these practices at some of these schools in the past. Those are all opportunities. How do you just pass those up to say, I'm all right?
All right, just a couple of notes to close here. Michael LaRue says, my family has been season ticket holders of the Bucs since year 2. We've already auto-renewed for next year, but if they bring bowls back, we will cancel them and get all the money back we can. Holy shit. Their family's been it since 1977. And if they don't fire bowls, they're out.
And of all the bad years of Buccaneers football, this is the
one that did it for you.
That's interesting. I'm not going to lie.
All right, guys. Great stuff. Appreciate you, Tre. How folks follow you on social media? Let them know.
Yeah, Instagram, Tre_Watson33. I'm on
that's TRE, by the way.
Yes, sir. TRE only, no Y. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I call it Twitter still, MDQUE_33, or just type Tre Watson in there, no Y, and you'll find me.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Sorry we didn't get to every one of your comments. We really appreciate you coming in. We will do it.